Good evening. This meeting of the Utah County Planning Commission is called to order. The time is 5:33 on October 8th. And we do have a quorum. We need 4, so we've got 5, so we're good to go there. Do we have any visitors that we need to recognize or welcome tonight, Bryce?
I don't think so. I think, other than the applicant and the public, I think we're all old faces. So
welcome, public. Let's see. I guess just a reminder that to sign in at the door, and anyone that wants to speak, there's a place to kind of notify that you want to speak to a topic on our agenda tonight. We'll open our meeting by having the Pledge of Allegiance. Would you
Sure.
help us with the Pledge of Allegiance? And we'll have Commissioner.
All rise. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Okay. We need to, our first item, number C, is to approve the minutes from our prior meeting. Did everyone receive the minutes in their packet today? Okay. Any discussion or changes on the minutes? If not, I'll take a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting.
I move that we approve the minutes as presented.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from August 20th. Let's start down there with Commissioner Davis on a vote.
Yay.
Yes.
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 Okay, minutes have been approved. We are now to our first topic item, which is a land use ordinance amendment. And Bryce, do you have that?
no, I'm just a couple of little housekeeping items.
Yes.
Just as a quick reminder, so you don't think that we've changed our schedule. We're meeting early this month because of the election and the need for this room. So we'll be back on our regular schedule in November and December. So appreciate you guys being able to mix it up a little bit this month. Greg will be covering these 2 items, so I'll yield this seat to him, so he doesn't have to have me change
Okay.
the slides.
Sounds great.
Just so you don't think I'm getting lazy or soft in my late in my career here, but we went through a restructuring in our department, in our division, and we actually became our own department this year. I don't know if we mentioned that to you guys before. We were our own department for years, and then we were put under Public Works as a division, kind of a restructuring, and the commission felt like we needed to be our own department again. So been a lot of administrative work. So Greg's been really helpful to kind of do a lift on the planning side of things. So I'll turn the mic over to him, and he'll present both items tonight.
Okay, thanks, Greg. Thanks, Bryce.
All right, good evening, commissioners. These 2 items are kind of linked together. The first is dealing with the land use ordinance text amendment to allow a biogas facility, renewable natural gas facility in the A40 zone. And just kind of go over just kind of the idea, the renewable natural gas just kind of generally is converting waste gas off of different types of agricultural land or landfills or other locally produced kind of waste to process that, and then to be able to reuse that and inject it back into a pipeline for use as natural gas in generally most homes. So The applicant is proposing to just add this language, which is language that we had added previously, earlier in 2023, sorry, to the M&G1 zone. The language that we used still fits the use that they would like to use it for. What we added it to the M&G1 zone for was to take the gas off of the Bayview landfill and process that and inject it back into the pipeline for natural gas. Here are a couple images of the facility as it's been constructed. Let me get you a little bit bigger one. This is kind of the size and scope of that facility. The facility that would generally be used in the A40 zone would be more along the lines of including digesters, which are kind of those dome shape. There are many different types of digesters. The applicant can kind of discuss kind of the design that they have in mind. And again, this is only what they're anticipating. However, this will affect all A40 zones. But the digesters take farm waste and be able to process that in order to create the end product that would be able to be put back into the pipeline. Based on the only change that staff is recommending that wasn't added originally in the application was to have a minimum acreage of 40 acres, which is the minimum acreage for a dwelling in the A40 zone. We felt that this just gives a little more protection for adjacent property owners to be able to kind of allow that a little more distance between residences or neighboring properties that so they have a little bit distance and setback from other types of, or these types of developments. Other than that, the staff is fully in support of adding this to the A40 zone, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those for you.
Mr. Chair, I have a question.
Yes.
Okay. Are any of the places where this would be permitted adjacent to areas where we think the land would be annexed into a city in the next foreseeable future?
Generally, no. The A40 zone, and let me bring this up a little bit. This is the A40 zone. We don't have many areas of the A40 zone. This dark green area is the area, and sometimes our zone map can be a little bit confusing because there's the CE1 zone, which is generally this area in the county is not that zone. It's just these smaller areas that really we don't have very much. So most of these areas are pretty, have farther away from most developments and kind of are designed to be that way. So
Okay, thanks.
the applicant is also here if you have any questions for them as well. I'm sure they'd be happy to answer those.
So this would be a permitted use alongside residence as long as it was 40 acres.
Yeah, so.
Is that right? I mean,
Yep.
this would be,
Yeah, so the A40 zone is designed to be more of an intensive agricultural use, has a few more intensive farm uses, which means that we kind of want to have a little bit larger lots. And so, yes, the minimum acreage for a dwelling is 40 acres, but also there are allowances in the A40 zone for a farm unit that has farm caretaker dwellings, which would allow more dwellings on that 40 acres as part of a farm unit. So there are benefits to the farmer as well as protections for kind of anticipated protections for more residential uses is the idea of the A40 zone.
is it anticipated that they would also have a dwelling on the premises with this type of an operation?
I'm sorry, a what? Sorry.
A residence? Would there be a residence allowed as well as the operation?
Sure, yeah, they would be able to, if they wanted to put a dwelling, I don't know that that's their plans, but yeah, there would be, in the A40 zone, if they had a qualifying lot, which means having frontage and and all the other things that would be required, they could have this renewable natural gas facility as well as a dwelling on the same property, and other uses that would be associated in the A40 zone as well.
One additional question, is there anything, I didn't see anything in here that would put in place a buffer or a setback requirement from either the property line or other residences? I mean, it makes sense for the area, this usage, but as far as not putting it on a property line adjacent to someone else's existing dwelling.
True. There isn't, and staff, we did contemplate that. I don't think that with the limited area that we have in the A40 zone and the uses and the distance between other dwellings and more intensive residential uses, we generally haven't seen that become an issue. So we didn't necessarily feel like we needed to regulate that. Also, we wanted to be flexible for those farmers that are wanting to use this so that they can locate it in those places that may be out of the way so that it might be a little more compatible with their farm uses. It is not anticipated that there will be additional odors or anything like that that would be above anything that would be expected on a farm.
That's what I was going to ask. I mean, it's not going to be any different than an open manure that's already on
Sure.
cow pasture.
Are there any more questions for Greg? Okay, is the applicant here? Would you like to speak to us or tell us about your project? Anything?
I can a little if you'd like me to. So what's happening in the dairy industry as well as other large agricultural with animals is they're doing digesters.
We're still on the recording, so state your name.
Oh, Steve Bateman, representing the Bateman's Mesita Farms, which is out there. We're a dairy farm. We have a beef operation. We're doing a lot of different things there, mainly dairy and crop raising. We have, I don't know, somewhere around 4,500 acres out there. The benefit of going to this digester is we are going to be turning the manure into natural gas. These gentlemen here represent LF, which is the company that we're going to use. And before they could even get started on the project, we had to have this done. So we just very luckily, the last day that we could sign up to do that, we got in on with Greg and we got signed up so that we could be here today. But usually people are in these meetings are taking it from ag to something else. We're kicking it back to ag more, because it has to be in that zoning for these guys to do what they do. But they're gonna. If you want to know, really, would you like to come up? Come up. Can he? This is one of the owners of LF, which is the company that's going to work with us, and he can explain to you how this works. We're basically going to take cow manure and turn it into gas, put it in a pipeline, and so we're
As part of the applicant group.
Yeah, I'm Brian Fliss, co-founder and chief development officer of LF Bioenergy. So happy to walk you through the process. You described it, pretty well. We essentially take the manure, we're putting it in concrete tanks. It sits there for 21 days. During that process, it anaerobically digests. We take the gas off the top, clean it up, take out the CO2, create pipeline quality gas, and then inject that into a pipeline. So it's a pretty simple process. Win-win for the farm too. So using that waste product and turning it into something good.
I have a question.
Huh?
So is mostly organic waste coming from your farm, or you also bring in some other end from other areas?
No, just pure dairy waste from their farm.
Yep.
Then when the infrastructure, obviously there's going to need a pipeline. Is already present, or is that going to require some other types of?
We need to connect into a bigger pipeline. So that's in the works. That final design hasn't been solidified yet, but our pipeline team is working on that. And we're looking at an option with the landfill there where we could inject in right where they're doing it
Can
currently.
you tell me a little more about that, the pipeline and how that impacts things around it and stuff?
Yeah, I believe it would stay on all of their property, correct?
It's what?
The pipeline is all on your property, or maybe some of the
Well,
churches
it
over
depend-
there.
It's gonna go on our property. Our property goes clear to the Chimney Rock Road, which is the road that goes to the landfill, that goes by the landfill out there. So it would stay on our property until we actually crossed, and not very many landowners there.
Yeah,
It's gotta there's no dwellings or anything, unless they're ours,
and it would be in the ground, nothing above ground there for that.
Very close to us.
Just to give you an idea, the parcel that this is the parcel that is going to be rezoned, if I can get it to light up. So that's the parcel that's on the agenda to be rezoned. The main pipeline that I'm guessing is probably going to be used is located there. The Bateman's own property here, and I think this is a different property owner, so there's one property owner in between their property and the gas line. Depending on the direction they go.
Just have a question for curiosity. How much gas does I mean, if you take a barrel of manure, how much,
This project,
what's the yield?
yeah, I mean, you're milking how many over there now?
We're milking under 9,000
Yes.
cows, about 8,500 cows there.
So that'll be about 900 MMBTUs a day for that project. So it would be our biggest project. A lot of ours are 350, 400, 450 MMBTUs.
Yeah.
So this would be
And
double the
it's not
size of
just
that.
us, also
Alberta.
what do you call it? The church farm,
Yeah, Alberta Valley down there.
Alberta Valley Ag. It's beneficial for them to work with them and us because we're all gonna go to the same pipeline.
Yeah.
And go to a scrubber that they can do 2 farms on. And they're gonna be milking around 6,000.
Yeah,
cows.
5,500 to
They're in the
6,000,
process
yeah.
of building a new barn, and so they're gonna come to it, we're gonna come to it, they're gonna put one scrubber in it. It works better with 2 than 1.
So we're designing both of these projects at the same time. There'll be 2 separate projects. And that's where a little bit of, figuring out the pipeline and how it all comes together. We're still working on, but
Okay, thanks.
I think it'll be a good thing for the area. The people that want to invest in this and do these things,
Yeah.
It's for credits to take basically a manure and turn it into a
again,
valuable resource.
you're turning a waste into something that's useful for
That's right.
the community, so.
Yeah, and a lot of dairies are doing this now, big dairies. I don't know that there's anybody in Utah now, but the big dairies are not, in other places, Wisconsin, New York, South Dakota.
Yeah,
All the big
California.
dairies are going to this because they're able to they have quite a resource with this manure to turn it into gas, and yet the what's left is still able to be used for fertilizer on the fields and whatever.
Yeah.
So it's good use of resources.
So in the interest of transparency, I'm the board chair for Timpanogos Special Service District. And so I know we're not discussing their projects, but they're going to have a similar project as well. And so I like the idea of being able to reutilize our resources, if you will. And so your current facilities, where's the closest one that you have in operation currently?
Closest to here would be Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, and we've got some underdeveloped in Kansas right now. That would be going to construction. And then,
You have a big one in New York.
yeah, and then New York is our biggest state. We've got 3 there right now and probably another 5 signed up under exclusivity.
Yeah, I like the idea of keeping you on the land and keeping the dairy farms in Utah. So it seems like a pretty nice symbiotic relationship, so.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Now, we need to open a public hearing, I believe, for this item. And so is there further discussion before we open the public hearing from Commission? Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
I make a motion that we open it to public comment, public hearing.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded to open for a public hearing. We'll start down here.
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Okay, the public hearing is now open, and I do see on here that we have a Mr. Dennison, who asked to speak to this. No? Okay. Is there anyone in our public that would like to speak to the topic at hand here? Okay. And let's see, does our next item also requires a public hearing? Yes, I'm getting a nod, okay. So we can keep the public hearing open. Any further discussion from the commission? Okay.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Yes, please.
I move that the Utah County Planning Commission recommend approval of the proposed text amendments to Section 12.48 of the Utah County Land Use Ordinance with modifications as specified in the staff report, along with any applicable renumbering and reformatting in each section based on the findings specified in the staff report under subsection V, or 5. It's probably 5.
Thank you.
I'll second that. Seems
Moved
that's
and
my job.
seconded to accept the staff recommendation and make the amendment that's been proposed. We'll start with Commissioner Davis on a vote.
Yes.
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 Yes,
Yes.
and that was a yes down there, right? Yeah, okay. So it looks like that was passed unanimously. So, good work. Okay, and our next item on our agenda is a zone map amendment. Is that also, Greg, you've got that one too? Okay.
This is a related item.
Okay.
This is the parcel we were discussing earlier. This is currently the parcel. Let me just get to a map really quick. The parcel is currently zoned RA5. And as you just approved or recommended approval for this, the language to allow for a renewable natural gas, now the zoning needs to be in place for this. So this application is to rezone this parcel, which is about 306 acres, from the RA5 zone to the A40 zone. The nearest dwelling to this property is on the Bateman farm, is about a half a mile away. Those dwellings that are not on their farm would be about close to 2 miles away. The parcel is, as far as I can tell, is legal and doesn't have any issues with it. There are, everything with this would be, all the uses currently that are currently being operated on this parcel would be allowed in the RA5 zone and also in the A40 zone. It has enough area to allow any permitted or conditionally permitted use in that zone, in the A40 zone. The reason, I think we already discussed the reason that we were talking about the A40 zone for the renewable natural gas facilities is just this is a little bit more intensive use for agricultural, and we just felt that it was more appropriate in the A40 zone. So that's the reason for the request for the rezone. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those.
Where's this in relation to the other A40 again? I mean, just,
Sure. So the other A40 zone
Okay.
is kind of
It's
at
just
the
right
top
below that.
on top of West Mountain. So it's still quite a ways away. And then there's a little bit of A40 zone to the south of there. So it's kind of adjacent to some A40 zoning. But generally, we don't have a lot in the county, as I discussed earlier.
I think it's safe to say in general, though, an A5 zone has more application. I mean, many people would see this as a downgrade, but it's the owners that want to do it, right?
True. Yeah. So there, as far as what most people are looking for, generally, as you are aware, they're looking for more density so that they can create more development in those. The Batemans have been in operation for quite a while, and they want to kind of encourage that to be able to remain, and so the A40 zone kind of helps them to be able to maintain that operation in this case.
Are we ready for a motion?
I need to allow public comment.
Oh, thank you, Karen.
Yep.
Is there any public comment on this? Seeing none, we'll entertain a motion then.
I move that the Utah County Planning Commission recommend approval of the proposed amendment to the official Utah County zone map for parcel 61 017-0013, currently designated as residential agriculture RA5, to be designated as agricultural A-40 zone based on the findings specified in the staff report under subsection 4.
You sure you don't want to call it IV?
IV.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to adopt the proposed map change.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
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 and that also passes unanimously. And is that all our business for tonight?
Close the public hearing.
Probably for housekeeping, might want to close the public
Yeah.
hearing.
I move that we close the public hearing.
Second.
We'll start down there. Then. Yes.
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 Okay, the public hearing is now closed.
Thank you. Just as a reminder for the applicant that this is just a recommendation. This will go to the county commission for final approval. We should be able to get that on as soon as we get the minutes prepared. And so it's usually a week or two turnaround, and that'll be forwarded to the commission with your recommendation. The only other item I have for business is I believe a couple of you have signed up for our AP, our planning conference that's here in Provo this year. So it's probably not too late if anyone else wants to go. It's Thursday and Friday
Which day? Next week?
this week.
This week.
Oh, this
Yeah,
week.
we're gonna load you up with all kinds of work this week. So technically the registration's closed, but we're kind of been working with the planning committee. So if you are interested, let us know. It's a great opportunity. It's 2 days over here at the conference center, Utah Valley Conference Center, and have a chance to learn a lot of different planning principles and training, and also some unique projects around the state. So let Marie know, preferably maybe tonight or tomorrow morning, ASAP, and we'll see if we can get that registration for you.
Are we going to get more information on that? Like what time it starts?
There's an agenda on
Yeah,
the
there's an agenda. We'll email that to you
Okay, 'cause
again
I-
in the
I don't-
morning.
Maybe it got put in my junk box. or
Yeah, it's
something?
if you Google the APA conference.
Okay.
pretty much all 8 to 5.
I just
There's
know the
some-
name of the conference was called to
Yeah.
Google it.
Right.
There's some opportunities to go visit. There, one of the mobile workshops is up to Sundance, which we've helped organize, and so if you have an interest in seeing what's going on up there, I know a lot of these things
Oh,
come to you, and so it'll be an
It won't be
opportunity
freezing
to
this year.
go tour that. So yeah, it's going to be great weather. So anyway, just want to remind you of that.
So we have that one, and then there's another training opportunity I think
Yes.
I saw.
On the
Yes,
20th, right?
there is several of you have been to the planning commission training we've had before. Other jurisdictions have hosted that. It's 3 or 4 hours in the evening. They provide you dinner, and it's a great way to meet our training requirement. State requires that we get you trained 4 hours a year. So we're trying to pick these opportunities to
Forgot
show
where
them.
that was at. Where was that at?
Payson,
Oh,
Springville,
yeah, that's right.
Springville.
Springville,
Yeah.
the library.
We'll send out a reminder for those of you that are still contemplating that. I know it's a kind of a lot of extra work. You guys are already donating your time for these meetings, but appreciate your efforts, and maybe we'll try and cancel November's meeting to reward you. So
Are there training opportunities, options that are just kind of like online
Yes.
training too?
Yes, yeah, we've usually send that to you when you
Yeah.
become a planning commissioner. We can resend that.
Might be
There's some
good.
great resources, different.
That could help meet that requirement of training. You could
Yeah,
kinda do
there
it.
is, state statute requires one of those hours to be specific to certain duties and principles that is provided by one of those videos. So it's called the Land Use Authority. LUAU is the acronym. So LU, how do we spell luau? Probably not spell LUAU or something. Anyway, we'll send that to you, but that also can satisfy. If you do that, please let us know, because Marie keeps record of that. In case we ever get audited, we can hopefully have something to point to.
Can you resend that to all of us?
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks, Marie. And then just a question, maybe Bryce, do you know, so are we short some planning commission members? And we won't get those replaced until?
Yes, as you may be aware, Skylar Beltran has been nominated by the party to fulfill Commissioner Sakovich's remaining term for this year. Mr. Beltran's also the Republican nominee for that commission seat. So that there's a potential that he could also win that election and become that. So as that has shaken out, he need to be released or whatever, no longer a part of the planning commission. We generally, November, December, we send the list of all of you who are up for your terms up for expiration and forward those names to them. We figured we're close to the end of the year. We'll just do it all at once. So we are down one. So we appreciate you trying to make an effort to be here and make sure we have a quorum so folks like this don't have to wait another month. So appreciate you being here. And like I said, I don't think we may have one application. It's kind of iffy right now for November. If we don't, we won't bring any staff-initiated things unless we have an applicant-driven meeting.
Okay.
We'll probably need to have a December meeting to get some of our training in. But anyway, we'll make that short if we need to do that and have some treats or something. So
Okay, thanks, Bryce.
yeah, that's all I had.
Thank you, Bryce.
Anyone else? Any more?
Yeah, I have a question. What's your department's name now?
Oh.
Is it better? Do you guys like that better? Is it a good change?
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Ministry of Land Use and Development.
We're still community development. Before we were community development division of Public Works, which was
Okay.
kind of an odd setup generally.
Public Works is big umbrella.
Yeah. So it was a great relationship. We were under the Public Works director, Richard Nilsson. He was great. He kind of left us alone because we were kind of our own thing, and we were doing our own thing before that, and so it's not a lot of change. But yeah, it's generally a kind of a good thing. Gives us some
So it's
opportunities.
just kind of just less minutia and less bureaucratic stuff for you guys.
No more.
Or more what?
No, there's more of that now.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's all right. I guess for my position, but that's fine. That
Wow.
comes with
Interesting.
certain opportunities that maybe can.
Does your title change?
Yeah, it did. So a little bit.
Okay, so what's your title?
I'm the director now instead of the associate director. So
So it's called what? Director of Community Development?
yes. Greg's title changed and Marie's title changed also because
Okay,
their
well,
their
so-
workload has increased
What's
a
your
little bit
new
too.
titles?
I'm the division director. And Marie's the boss. That's her title. She's boss.
What's your title then?
Get that in writing, I suggest,
Office manager. Is it office manager or office coordinator? Coordinator.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So hopefully with the title changes, maybe there's a little bit of salary change too, in the
Yeah.
positive.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
it's-
yeah. So,
There's a,
Can always hope.
Anyway,
Now,
yeah, it's-
are
it's-
you with them too? I mean, are you part of it? Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know if you like linked on.
yeah, Dale's, each department has an attorney from the civil division assigned to them to help them with their legal needs. So, and community development usually has more needs than other departments. So Dale drew the short stick.
Yeah, sure.
We're glad you're here.
I want to be here.
Oh,
He's great.
well, you haven't been here the last couple times. You haven't been here, so.
That is true.
Well, congratulations on your new titles and director.
Thanks.
Okay, if there's nothing else, then the meeting is adjourned.
Alrighty. We need